Charles Davis is somebody we've had on through the years who I love and respect a great deal for his insight and just his demeanor. It's very calm. It's not over the top, like, this is the greatest thing ever. That's what I like about you. CBS Sports, NFL Network. So I want to get into the Cardinals in a minute. Just how are you? What do you think of the draft? Let's start there.
Brad, it's so great to see you. I'm
pumped up, excited.
It is great to talk with you again. Great to see you via Zoom. Let's start with Detroit because they deserve major league kudos for this draft. Conducted it in exemplary fashion. Each person, after we got done off mic, all that stuff. You know how it is, Brad, when people come to town, they want to really get something. Hey, Brad, can we talk for a minute here?
Yeah.
All of them said to me the same thing individually. Okay, you've worked a number of these, right? Yes. Which ones had the biggest attendance since they've started the road show? And I was like, Nashville. And they're like, how many? I said, about 600,000 over 3 days. Yeah, we can get that number. Every one of them. 775,000 was the final number I heard when I came out of Detroit. Phenomenal. 275,000 on Thursday night, on opening night. I just wanted to give credit to Detroit, credit to the Lions organization, credit to the people in Detroit, the city, the state of Michigan, the whole deal. Turning down Marvin Harrison Jr., I think, would have been a wrong move because I saw them play one time last year. Myself, Ian Eagle, Evan Washburn, our crew. It was the San Francisco game late in the year in Arizona, and twice they played San Francisco tough. The final scores, I think, were somewhat deceiving, how it turned out. And this one was no different. They played them tough. In fact, Brad, as you remember, they ran the ball so well that day, they'd opened up a lot of questions about San Francisco, and Detroit exploited that in the playoffs and then quit doing it. Remember? First half, they just ran them silly.
Sure.
In the second half, they got away from it. San Francisco makes a comeback and beats them. In a lot of ways, I think Arizona offered a blueprint that day. The other part was how hard they played. Okay, I'm watching this team with not a ton of talent, play them hard, play them tough. And last but not least, here was the kicker. Kyler Murray's back, throwing the football. He doesn't really have anyone to throw the ball to. They were 31st or 32nd in wide receiver yards last year. That's a screaming need. And here's the best receiver in the draft staring you at the face at 4. I have plenty of picks later. I thought it was great discipline by Monty to say, hold on a second. I got to get a good player, and I'm going to get him right here. You guys worry about it later. Harrison, as we said, tremendous pick, best receiver in the draft. Is it a big a gap as maybe Brock Bowers, top tight end versus number 2? No, because Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, those guys, terrific players. But I still think Harrison's the best one. I'm glad they grabbed him. Darius Robinson was interesting from Missouri because he fits what I think Nick Rallis likes to do on defense, being able to move some people around, being able to capitalize on matchups. Is he a twitchy guy off the edge all the time? Not in my estimation. Can he beat people? Sure. But he's not the guy that I'm going to say, I'm going to leave him on the edge. He's getting me double-digit sacks. I never saw that with him. But when I watched him work inside in those sub packages and work over guards, now I got something going. That's where he becomes a better football player, and Nick Rallis is going to make sure he takes full advantage of that. Brand name, by the way, Missouri, which had a great season last year in the SEC, beat Ohio State in the big bowl game. Max Milton from Rutgers, all right? Corner, bloodlines we talk about, it came into play a little bit. His brother Bo was an undrafted free agent. He's playing in Green Bay as a receiver and has made the league. Malachi, tough, hard-nosed kid. Had his struggles in the Big Ten at times with especially some kid named Harrison. Yeah. But again, who didn't, right? But he runs really well. He's a tough, physical, hard-nosed guy. I think he adds to it as well.
Before I get you out of here, Spencer Rattler is a local kid. A lot of controversy about Spencer lasting so long. We saw the documentary that was referred to, Ian Rappaport referred to. We saw it when it came out, and I was shaking my head like, this is not good. What was your read on the Spencer Rattler dropping in the draft and ending up at New Orleans?
Surprised that he lasted as long as he did, Brad, but not surprised that he lasted. Here's why. Every year we go into this about what quarterback's going to go early, and how many times have we had that, and then there's a gap, especially if you roll 6 out in the first round.
Right.
Happens all the time. But it doesn't happen all the time you get 6 in the first round. couple years ago, Kenny Pickett went in the first round, but remember all the smoke we had going? Could Desmond Ridder be a first rounder? Could Malik Willis be the first quarterback off the board? You see, remember that one?
Every year. Yep.
Pickett went to Pittsburgh in the 20s, early 20s, and then we didn't have another quarterback pick till the third round. Okay? Last year, Will Levis, by the time we got to Thursday night, the smoke was just swirling that Will Levis was a top 5 quarterback. He didn't go till the next day. He got his call back home because he left, took a flight home, and was home and got the phone call as opposed to being there on the stage. What a disappointing night for him. But it probably worked out better in a lot of ways because he's the starting quarterback in Tennessee right here, right now. He was able to get the job. This is what happens with these things. And once we saw 6 come out, one of the few times in my life I've gotten something right. We started the show, Brad, and I said, guys, I feel very strongly we're not going to see a quarterback in the second round. We'll probably start again in the third. We had 6 come off the board. I think there's going to be a gap. There was. Did I expect it to last as long as it did before Spencer Rattler came off? Not at all. Not at all. But here's the one thing to keep in mind. New Orleans, who took Spencer Rattler, had gone up and really talked to Monty, Joe Ortiz, all the people up top about trying to get into the top 10 to get a quarterback. So when they didn't get the one that they wanted, they chose to sit back and wait. And now they got a guy they view as a developmental guy who has the potential to be a starter, but they got him at a price much better than having to go up there early and get it. But New Orleans was very interested in a quarterback. I think the surprise for all of us is that the Raiders didn't take him at some point, because we all thought that's where he was going to go. Last thing, the Netflix thing did him no favors. We know that. I met the young man a few summers ago at a camp. It's actually the Manning Passing Academy. I wouldn't figure he'd know me from Adam. I don't walk around with the idea everybody knows me, Brad. I'm not of that ilk.
It's never been you.
But I'm there, standing there, and this young man rolls up to me, sticks his hand out, firm handshake, looks me in the eye, and said, Mr. Davis, I just want to introduce myself. My name's Spencer Rattler. I'm playing at South Carolina now. Very nice to meet you, Spencer. How are you? We started talking. We struck up a relationship. But I don't want to fool anyone. We're not talking every day. We're not talking every week. I'm not his mentor. I'm not his anything. But I watched him the entire week from that handshake because I saw the Netflix program. Okay. And there were coaches there that went, oh, that kid, right? I watched him the entire week. This was a different, not Netflix Spencer Rattler. I saw him doing the right things. I saw him interacting. Because, at the camp, you are also a counselor. And so you have kids. And these kids, they bought into him hard. And he was buying into them. He was doing everything. There's a reason he was a 5-star player, Brad. You saw it.
Yep, we did.
Okay? It didn't work at Oklahoma. But boy, did he battle through and play well at South Carolina. I remember him wrecking my Tennessee Volunteers 2 seasons ago. This kid's got talent. I believe that the so-called makeover, whatever we want to call it, is real. I believe in this young man. I'm rooting for him because let me just say it as plainly as I can. If anyone had had a camera on me at 17, I don't know how well I would have come off either. This is how it works. It's called maturity and growth. Give people opportunities. And this kid's been through some bumps now. It wasn't all the charm life when he was 5-star coming out. Had the issues coming out of high school. He ends up losing the job at Oklahoma. He has to go to South Carolina, humble himself, and start over again. And boy, he did all of those things. So I believe it's real, and I'm really, really rooting for this young man.